This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we're going to talk about, well, we were going to talk about the PPG Top 16, and we still have this, and you still want to see all the deck lists you can in the description of this video, but it's just Blue Hybrid, right? I mean, obviously there's some other decks. There's like 9.5, the Bond of Friendship Hybrid is like adjacent to Blue Hybrid. And yeah, I'd rather just talk about the state of the game on it and everything else. Because if you look at this, 9 Blue Hybrids got into the top 16 of the Digimon Miami Fest that happened by PPG. And if we look through like just the other events that happened this month, like this is the Card Magic event that happened the same weekend. We had 50% of them be Blue Hybrid. We had the Worlds event that happened where 3 players were playing the Blue Hybrid list. And then finally we had like the in-person Arlington Fest by Play TCG and another 50%. And I think each one of these tournaments, besides the Card Magic one, was just Blue Hybrid in the finals versus each other, right? So I don't know. I think I'd rather just talk about the, what the lists look like and like what we can maybe see in the future. And it's just rough. It's just rough seeing so many Blue Hybrids. And like, it's kind of like what happened with like Bond of Friendship a while ago, where these cards were just really uninteractable in a lot of ways. And it's especially so right now for tamers, right? Because these tamers going into their big boys just seem really like there's just no way to interact besides like putting like a bunch of blockers up, which you can stun the blockers from being able to block. There's just not a lot you can do because we do have here, let me actually go to, let's just do Chungman's list. Yeah, so like for example, if you have like a blocker and you're like, oh, I can block this, we do have like this Tommy, which I think this card needs to happen for it. It's super good. So being able to just play it, get rid of 3 of your opponent's evolution sources, and then also having a security, a inheritable effect when attacking to the end of your opponent's next turn. One of your opponents with no devolution can't attack or block. So being able to just do this hard stun seems really, really good. So what you can do is you can play the Tommy, you can Digivolve, and then the same turn that guy can't block any of your attacks. Though obviously you have to have the when attacking, and you can't just play the Tommy and attack with it too. But and then also like there's the Kori Kakumon as well. So when Digivolving a card with the Hybrid Sense trait or Tommy's in this card, one of your opponents with no devolution cards can't attack or block until the end. So pretty much the same thing. Additionally, this can Digivolve on one on top of one of your other ones, including itself. So you can Kori Kakumon and then go into another one for an additional 1, and you can stun 2 of your opponent's cards, which I don't know, like the big thing for me is that like I've like am like adjacent to source control, being able to like I think it's an interesting archetype for sure, and it's been moderately lackluster for the entirety of the game right now. It did have like a moment of shine to shine when Hexblau came out and everything, but it just seems like uninteractable in the state that we're at, where it used to be able to proc when you were removing sources, and then like you had the occasional proc when there weren't any sources on a card. But now like it's so easy to get rid of sources, especially right now when a lot of people are playing rookies for free, like Bokomon, like any of the memory blockers, like the the reduced devolution cost blockers too. I think it's just in a poor state for what you're at, because especially like Blue's always been like the problem child in this game too. Like obviously it wasn't super good with Lord Nightmon, but the deck that could just play Hammer Spark so freely would memory boost so freely. And like the thing with Hammer Spark is like, yeah, obviously the downside for it is that you lose a card in hand, but when you have so much cycle and everything else, it just seems so consistent for you. And when also these memory blockers are easy to remove too, it's just a whole lot of that kind of stuff. So I don't know, it just feels bad with how much uninteractable like tamers are in a lot of ways. And so like the only card that can do that is like the green like Argomon stuff, and green's not doing super well right now, I'll say it. So I think, and like what we could also have like Zort defeat pop one of your opponent's tamers, but that is very costly for where it's at, and still kind of archetype specific for it. And like I think we need something that stuns tamers or gets rid of them for, I don't know. We know what's coming out. We know that's not really happening. So I'm trying to think like what's the best way to get rid of this, or if there's a way to even like play around this. But it doesn't feel really good. They'll just set all these tamers up, and then you'll be able to, even if you put some blockers up, even if you put like extra security, even if you're playing like a security control deck that has Gaia forces and everything, they can just one by one digivolve into their tamers. They can swing in, and they're 100% safe with it. So I don't think that's I don't know. I don't think that is good for what the game's at right now. And being able to OTK your opponent like that with no interaction feels bad, right? I think that's the main thing. Like, if blue, and I'm not saying anything bad against people who play this deck, and obviously there are some really tricky sequencing, and it's not like it's a free win in any regard. But I think it does have just so much resources, and it just has like protection to a lot of interaction in the game, which kind of stinks, right? Being able to, once again, all the stun and everything. So I'm not sure what we can do going forward. I also, unfortunately, don't think there's going to be any ban list changes for where we're at. And I don't know. It's just going to be, I think, a long month of April where there's just a lot of people still playing blue hybrid and doing well, obviously. But I'm not sure what the meta is or what the counter for it is, and that's kind of tricky for me. I mean, like, what, you can maybe play something more aggressive. It's very hard to play something more defensive because, once again, they can just zoop up and get you. I don't know. And we do have a new set coming out in what, May, I believe, or maybe end of April, but depending on the timings of stuff. But I don't think I can think of anything to either hard counter this besides, once again, green that's not doing super well, or anything from there. If I was to talk about cards that I think would need to get hit for this, I really don't like this. This Tommy just feels like it does so much. And when I first saw, like, we were talking about ban list discussion back in January, because that's when they announced that they were going to do it. And the other weird thing about this game is that, Japan is in like a different kind of thing. And I don't know specifically how good how different the format was for BT7 when they had Mega Digimon Fusion, when they had I think that was really the only card, right? Anything else really banned? And Ice Wallet 4, right? Ice Wallet 4 with this deck would have been not fun. So I'm happy Ice Wallet 1 is there. But and Mega Digimon Fusion into Susanomon seems like a really bad interaction. Like, being able to just like go into a security attack +2 dude that also pops something on the board for like 1 is crazy. But what else we got? I don't know. Like, yeah, but when we were talking about this discussion and seeing stuff, I saw people say that they want Tommy banned, and I didn't get that at first. But now seeing this, like, yeah, this card is, blue has so many good tamers as it is, and Tommy being able to do what he does is just obnoxious. Getting rid of 3 sources for 3 is already pretty cost efficient for where we're at, but also being on a tamer which also has an inheritable, like, it just I mean, like, this could be a 3 cost, this could be a 4 cost that gets rid of 2, and I still think it could be played right now, right? I think that's maybe not as, obviously not as good as it is now, but I think people would still play it with as a 4 cost that only got rid of 2 sources. And that's crazy to me, like how good this card is. So I don't know. I think this could, it stinks that it kind of like gets rid of the archetype, but I think that's something that might fix it. I don't know. I don't think it's worth ban, but yeah, setting either to like one copy or 2. I don't think they're going to do any like erratas in this game. They haven't yet, and I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're just going to straight up ban cards they don't like. I mean, they've done like some like erratas in the sense of like name changes, but nothing. I don't think they've done any like functional erratas for this game. I guess a delicate plan kind of got that, but the other cards, I don't know. This one's fine. Like, being able to just digivolve for 2 and trash a card, that's fine. Kori Kakumon is fine too. Like, I don't know. This is okay, especially if like Tommies don't exist as much anymore. This is a good effect that's a little bit hard to proc. And then we also have Beowulfmon. This is also, I guess, okay. Being able to like digivolve into this, get a hybrid back into your hand, so you can then have one, so you can digivolve into any other tamers, I think is a good, like, feels bad when it happens to you, but I think it involves enough setup and enough memory for it that it's fine. So Howling Memory Boost also has like stood like the test of time over the last couple months too. Of like this came out before like we got the blue memory boost from the starter decks, and then it came out, and it's like still doing good. And I think this card's fine, but I don't know. I also wouldn't be like, if Ice Wall's banned, I wouldn't be crying. So yeah, I don't know. Like the last thing I'd just say is that I this deck just kind of goes hand in hand with how like the mechanics work for this game too. So it's difficult to do anything about this without doing that. Like the only thing I could imagine, and I don't think they'll ever do this, is if that you could only digivolve on top of a tamer once per turn. That would obviously fix this and cause like more interaction in the game and everything. But I severely doubt that will ever happen. But that's like the kind of like emergency switch for that. But most decks I see function only do this hybrid devolution once per turn, except for blue. Blue's like the one that does it 3 times a turn and gets the OTK, and that's mostly because they also have the older memory. Like Sora Joe is such a good tamer in this meta, especially since once again people are already inclined to do these hard cast rookies and everything. Like you just start with like 6 memory as blue sometimes, and that's absurd, especially when you can like pop a Howling Memory Boost, when you can do a Hammer Spark, and like that's just why it's able to get as much memory as it can to kind of close out the game and stuff. So I don't know. This is just me rambling about it. Again, if you guys want to see these lists, the link is in the description. Thanks to PPG for providing these to us. But yeah, we're just seeing so much blue hybrid, and I know those are just it's probably just gonna be the blue hybrid meta for the rest of April, and we'll just kind of have to go from there. But let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know your thoughts. If you guys have any decks that are really good against blue hybrid, let me know about them. And that's really going to be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it.